We recently took a road trip to Henderson, Nevada, driving through Colorado and Utah along the way. One of our favorite side stops was Zion National Park, a place unlike anything we'd ever seen before. The landscapes were absolutely breathtaking. Now, some of the footage in this video was shot through the windshield, so it's not perfect, but it still gives you a great glimpse of how stunning this place truly is, and why it's definitely worth a visit.
Today we're heading deep into a canyon that was literally carved by water and time. It's a place that has been a true sanctuary for thousands of years. We're going to explore the story of Zion National Park from its incredible geological beginnings all the way to its role as a refuge today. So, tell me more.
Sure, to start, just look at this place. When you see Zion, you're immediately struck by this amazing contrast, right? You've got these gigantic, unbaked cliffs that just plummet down to meet this little green ribbon of life. The Virgin River. It's totally a land of extremes, and you just have to wonder, how in the world did a place like this come to be? Well, to get our answer, we've got to go back in time. And I mean way, way back. We're going to start by reading the story that's written in the very stones of the canyon itself. Yeah, we're talking about a time scale that is, honestly, it's pretty hard to wrap your head around the major rock layers. You can see stacked up in Zion represent about 150 million years of our planet's history.
This story starts back when dinosaurs were roaming the Earth. The whole thing basically happened in three giant steps. First, sedimentation. I want you to picture a desert, a sea of sand dunes bigger than anything we have today. Over millions of years, all that sand got packed down and cemented into the Navajo sandstone we see everywhere in the park.
Then came step two, uplift. Tectonic forces literally pushed this entire region, the Colorado Plateau, up by about 10,000 feet. And finally, you have erosion with all that new height. The Virgin River, which used to be pretty slow, turned into this powerful, relentless carving tool, just slicing down through those rock layers, creating the incredible canyons we see today. The result? Well, the National Park Service calls it a geologic showcase, and you can totally see why those sheer sandstone cliffs, some of them soaring more than 2,000 feet straight up, are a direct link to that ancient desert. And yeah, they're some of the tallest sandstone cliffs anywhere in the world.
But this story isn't just about rocks and water. The same forces that made this place so dramatic also made it a place of shelter, a place for life. The canyon became a home. So now let's turn to the human voices that have been echoing here for centuries. People have been living in Zion for thousands of years, and you can still find these direct connections to them today.
You had early farming cultures like the ancestral Puebloans who figured out how to grow crops right on the canyon floor, and they left behind pieces of their lives, like the incredible rock art you're seeing here. What's really interesting is how different people saw this canyon, and you can see it right in the names.
They gave it to the Southern Paiute, people who've been here for centuries. This place was Mointup, which makes sense. It means straight canyon. But for the Mormon pioneers who came in the 1860s, these towering walls felt like a huge natural church, a holy place of refuge. So they called it Zion. So as more people realized that this canyon was both this jaw-dropping natural wonder and a place with deep human roots, that led to the next big chapter in Zion's story, the official push to protect it for good.
It didn't happen overnight. It started back in 1909 when it was protected as Mutaweep National Monument. 10 years later, Congress made it bigger and officially renamed it Zion National Park, but for a long time, the park was still super remote. Really hard to get to. The real game changer was in 1930 with a new highway and a tunnel that finally opened this landscape up to everybody.
Then later, in 1956, the park grew again, adding the amazing Collab Canyon section. And let me tell you, that tunnel was a huge deal to connect the east and west sides of the park. Engineers had to blast more than a mile through solid rock. They carved out these huge windows on the side of the cliff, partly for ventilation, but also for these just unbelievable views.
It was a seriously bold project that really put Zion on the map for visitors. So we've got the canyon carved. We've layered in the human history. Now let's talk about the third really critical piece of the puzzle, the incredible diversity of life here. This place is a true biological crossroads. Zion's secret power really comes from its location.
It's not just in one environment. It sits right at the meeting point of three totally different regions: the Mojave Desert, the Great Basin, and the Colorado Plateau. This mashup, combined with the huge changes in elevation from the bottom of the canyon to the top of the mesa, creates this amazing variety of homes for plants and animals in a pretty small area.
The result of that mashup is just fascinating. You get animals that are built for the desert, like bighorn sheep, living practically next door to species that need cooler, higher forests, like the threatened Mexican spotted owl, which hides out in the park's cool, narrow slot canyons. It's pretty amazing. I mean, just look at the numbers.
They're kind of mind-blowing. The park is home to almost 300 different kinds of birds, 78 species of mammals, and tons of reptiles, amphibians, and fish. It just goes to show you how much life can thrive when you have this kind of unique geography all in one place. So that brings us to today. The forces that built Zion are, of course, still at work, and its job as a sanctuary is more important than it's ever been, not just for the animals, but for all of us.
Every single year, millions of people travel here from all over the world. They come to hike the trails, to wade through the Virgin River and the Narrows, or sometimes just to stand there and look up at those incredible cliffs. It's become this world-famous destination for finding both adventure and a sense of peace.
With all that love comes a really big responsibility. The park asks every single one of us to be a site steward. Basically, it means leaving everything just the way you found it. So don't stack rocks, don't pick up artifacts, and if you see any damage, let a ranger know. It's all about making sure the next person and the next generation gets to have that same amazing feeling of discovery.
That really leads us to the final big question. Zion was a sanctuary for ancient peoples, a refuge for pioneers, and today it's a haven for wildlife and for us. So as we look to the future, the challenge is pretty clear. How do we keep this incredible sanctuary safe for the next 100 years and beyond? Well, thanks for riding along with us today through Zion National Park. We plan on returning again and exploring even deeper. We leave you as we make our descent down the western side of the park and heading toward Nevada. If you get a chance, you owe it to yourself to visit here. It's so worth it.